Well, good morning, everyone. In remarks that I just gave at the Education Nation Summit, I spoke a bit about two school preparedness initiatives that the Department of Education is launching, and I'd like to give you some more details about both and then turn the floor over to Chancellor Walcott. Speaker Quinn is on her way, stuck in traffic. Traffic is good because it means lots of cars and lots of people here. But we got to do something about it, so I will personally call Jeanette Sedek-Khan afterwards and ask her why the speaker had some traffic, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, more and more research points to the importance of early childhood education in closing the achievement gap and helping kids of all backgrounds succeed academically, and that's why the Department of Education has worked closely with the Administration for Children's Services and others to build a stronger, more coordinated early childhood education system across our city, especially in neighborhoods where levels of poverty are high and academic achievement low. And along with the City Council and Speaker Quinn, who certainly has shown strong leadership and commitment to improving early childhood education, we've increased pre-K enrollment by nearly 50% since 2002. Now, our goal is to have every city kid arrive in kindergarten ready and prepared for a lifetime of success. And today, we're announcing these two important steps towards that goal. First, next year, we'll be adding 4,000 full-day pre-K seats to the 16,000 full-day seats DOE is already providing. Those additional 4,000 full-day seats will be located in areas of high need, determined by factors like a high percentage of students receiving free or reduced lunch, lower than average student achievement in district schools, and high percentage of children not attending any pre-K program the year before kindergarten. And we'll look at where there is need and provide seats both in public schools and community-based organizations. I'm also very excited to announce that we'll be opening the first Educare school in New York City. Educare is a national model for early childhood education services for children from 6 weeks old through age 5, and it has proven very effective in preparing academically at-risk children for success in school, helping to close the achievement gap and break cycles of poverty. The Ounce of Prevention Fund started the first site in Chicago in 2000, and in 2003 began collaborating with the Buffett Family Childhood Fund to spread the model nationwide. Susie Buffett has really done a great job in trying to help kids who really just need that little extra preparation, and then their prospects for the future are much greater. It has since gained support from a number of other major philanthropies as well and developed into a network of schools in a dozen American cities. New York City's first Educare school will open in 2013, and we're proposing to open it in Brownsville, Brooklyn. But since this is New York City, we're taking the Educare model a step further. Embedded in the school will be a first-of-its-kind leadership institute for training and supporting early childhood school directors. Then we'll be able to leverage what we're trying to do and do a lot more of it. We'll use the Educare School and Leadership Institute as an incubator and research hub for high-quality early childhood programs and spread its best practices around the city. Now, the Department of Education has committed to matching private contributions to cover capital costs for the school. The city is also seeking an anchor funder to be part of a shared governance board that will oversee the city's Educare School and Leadership Institute. And if any of you in the press here want to be that funder, we'd be happy to talk to you. Over the next year, we'll work closely with leaders in the field to develop the Institute. It'll be another example, I think, of how we're using public-private partnerships to tackle tough challenges, and I did want to thank the Educare Learning Network for helping make all of this possible, especially Susie, one of the nation's leading advocates for early childhood education. We're thrilled to be working with her. Her father gets most of the publicity, but you should know that Susie on her own has really tried to make a big difference in education. And then Diana Rauner, president of the Ounce of Prevention Fund, and who's with us, and other foundations that support replication of Educare across the country. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And now let me turn you over to our school's chancellor, Dennis Walcott, who can tell you a little bit more. And here is the speaker. I talked about you. I said, yes, I did glowingly, because I thought you'd probably read the transcript afterwards. But I also pointed out you were stuck in traffic, and I was going to personally call Sedek-Khan and ask why, but the traffic is good. because it's a lot better than having no traffic.
That is true.
Dennis, you want to say something?
After that, by all means. Thank you very much. And first, good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I could not be more excited that our administration is expanding options to serve our youngest learners, especially our most vulnerable, who have the most to gain and face the greatest risk. This is simply another example of your commitment to closing the achievement gap with common sense solutions that put our students first. As the Mayor mentioned, we are so grateful for the outstanding partnership of Susie Buffett and the National Educare Learning Network, the Buffett Early Childhood Fund, and the Ounce of Prevention Fund as well. And we are so appreciative of the generous support of Educare New York City by JP Morgan Chase Foundation and the United Way of New York City. I would also like to acknowledge DOE's strong partnership with ACS, the Administration for Children's Services, and its fantastic Commissioner, Ronald Richter, who oversees child care and Head Start. The DOE's collaboration with ACS ensures that thousands of city students receive high-quality services before kindergarten. Together, we have set citywide expectations for what children should know and be able to understand, and by the end of pre-K, based on Common Core and Head Start standards. Our relationship makes New York well-positioned to bring Educare to our city as a model for transformation and innovation in a large urban setting. I want to thank Deputy Mayor Gibbs. I want to thank the Speaker, Christine Quinn, Commissioner Richter, for their leadership on this issue as well. In addition to that, early education, as some of you know, is close to my heart. In fact, I started my career as a kindergarten teacher. Did you know that? In South Jamaica, Queens of New York.
I knew you were a teacher, but I didn't know you were
I was a kindergarten teacher. I was. And now my kindergarten students are 42 years old, matter of fact. True story. And matter of fact, one contacted me last year. So I know personally that high-quality pre-K...
Any Nobel Prize winners?
They're working on it now. Matter of fact, they have their submissions at the...
Good.
Very good, yeah. And so pre-K involves children, families, teachers. We rent out, by the way, so extra money, just rent us out and we can do a lot together, Mayor and I. Community-based organizations and schools and buildings, better future, not just for children, but for everyone. But unfortunately, citywide, 7,500 children are not enrolling in any kind of pre-kindergarten program, and enrollment rates are its lowest in some of our neediest districts. The lack of full-day options for families is often a strong contributing factor to lower enrollment. That is why these 4,000 new full-day seats that the Mayor mentioned earlier, bringing our total number of full-day seats to 20,000, are so vitally important. The bottom line is that pre-K works, and the more the better. For this reason, I am proud that we, the DOE, are committing $20 million to ensure that our students are prepared for kindergarten and beyond. And in addition to that, I'm also very excited about Educare as well. Now, Mayor, I don't know if you know this, but I very rarely take trips outside of New York City, aside from going to our 6th borough in Albany.
I would guess you've been to Omaha, if I had to guess.
And you guessed correctly. See? And so the only trip I've really taken outside of New York State was to Omaha, and that was last November. And I had the opportunity to see Educare in action myself, and I was extremely impressed. Everything from the staffing model and instruction to the use of space ensured healthy development of children in all areas of cognitive, physical, language, and literacy, social, emotional growth. I was also taken by the strong involvement of families in their children's learning after they leave Educare and move on through kindergarten through the 12th grade. Those elements created a foundation for successful learning, and Educare works. Research indicates that the gains students enrolled in Educare achieve persist as they move through elementary school. Now, let me tell you a little more about Educare here in New York City. We are proposing to house Educare New York City in PS 41, an elementary school in Brownsville, New York. We anticipate that Educare New York City will ultimately enroll between 115 and 135 children. By transforming an existing school building to house Educare, we are setting a precedent for integrating a high-quality birth through 5 center into a larger continuum towards college and career readiness for our city's most at-risk children. Educare New York City will also include the first-of-its-kind Leadership Institute to help meet the city's short- and long-term needs for high-quality early childhood directors. We have laid the groundwork for this institute by building the capacity of current directors through peer-led professional learning communities and regular director meetings focused on school readiness goals. We will take advantage of the unique opportunities New York City has to draw from existing best practice in leadership development by building the Institute in collaboration with not-for-profits, other city agencies, and university partners as well. And Educare will be an incubator for promising practices to be spread across our great city. These new initiatives will go a long way towards ensuring that New York City's youngest learners start school on track towards college and career readiness. This is a tremendous day for New York City students and families, and I want to thank all of our great staff and Sophia Pappas, who is our Executive Director of Early Childhood, and all of her team for letting us reach this particular goal. Thank you very much, Mayor, for your leadership, and we appreciate it.
Dennis, thank you. And the Speaker, I think it's fair to say nobody cares about education as much. There are people who do as much as she, but she cares about, I think I say that right? I think so. She is tied with other people who really care about education. And one of the things the Speaker does is she just doesn't talk about it. She tries to do something about it. Chris?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This is a terrific announcement on so many levels today, and I really want to thank Mayor Bloomberg, our Chancellor Dennis Walcott, our ACS Commissioner Ron Richter, our friends from Nebraska for sharing with us their great model. You know, one of the first things I worked on when I got elected Speaker was the goal of raising and increasing the number of full-day pre-kindergarten slots in the city of New York. And working with the Bloomberg administration, we successfully did that in the thousands. We did that because it's been proven that early childhood education is the critical foundation to not just making sure children succeed in school, not just making sure they graduate from high school, but making sure they're prepared to go on and excel in college. We want to make sure every New York City child who wants to go to full-day pre-kindergarten, or whose parents do, I'm not sure how many 4-year-olds wake up wanting to go to full-day pre-kindergarten, but whose parents want them to have that option. And although half-day pre-kindergarten is good, it's only 2.5 hours. So full-day is really much better at creating that foundation. So this additional $20 million allocation for the next school year, coupled with the success that the Council and the Bloomberg administration had in Albany last year, getting kindergarten made mandatory in the city of New York, is going to move us light years ahead in having a terrific and hopefully the best urban early childhood education system that we possibly can. You add on to that the Educare model and the fact that we're starting it in Brownsville, Brooklyn, a part of our city that is still struggling to get its scores and educational success rate up. We're really making a commitment to do what we know works and to bring in best practices from other parts of the country and really begin as early as we possibly can getting children the fundamentals they need. So we in the Council are so excited about working with the DOE and the Mayor on the new Educare Center, making sure that someday we're announcing more than one in other parts of the city as well, and also rolling out these full-day pre-care slots. That 7,500 number that Dennis mentioned, it is simply too high. To have 7,500 children out there not in pre-kindergarten, or 7,500 children who start off on the first day of school at a deficit. We can change that, and we'll also continue with the DOE. They've been great partners in outreach efforts to get information to parents about pre-K, and I can't wait till next year to welcome all of those new 4-year-olds to school.
Once again, let me thank Commissioner Richter and Diana Rauner for everything that they do. Before taking questions on topic, let me just summarize today's announcement in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. Tenemos dos nuevas iniciativas para nuestros niños. Empecen la escuela en buen camino y preparado para tener éxito. Estamos abriendo 4,000 nuevos espacios para el prejardín. Además, vamos a empezar un nuevo modelo de educación temprana para niños desde 6 meses a 5 años llamado Educare. And with that, we'll take questions on topic, and then we'll take a couple-minute break for off-topic. Sir, I saw you first, sir.
For the uninitiated, what do they do in this setting? What do they do with the kids? I mean, what do they do?
It's right with the curriculum. Well, look, you know, you're not going to teach them calculus at that age, but the first thing is to teach them to deal with other kids and how you how you work together. It's part of the growing experience. The kid just sits at home. They don't have that experience of how to deal with other children in a multi-person setting, and then how to listen to somebody. And then you can start to teach kids at that age. I'll get you. You want to? Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. You know, the first thing that they do is they hold them and talk to them and look in their eyes and have interactions. The very first way that children learn is through contact with adults in supportive, strong relationships where children are being attended to when they think about something, and when they look out the window, somebody points out what they're looking at and explains what that is. That's the foundation of literacy, but it's also the foundation of curiosity, self-confidence, self-control, and the ability to persist in hard tasks in school.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is different today than over the last 15 or 20 years in the development of children and early childhood education that makes this a landmark program?
Well, several things. One, Educare, as just indicated, is a very comprehensive program. It brings a number of disciplines together to work with the parents as far as the development of that child, and really lays a very strong foundation for that child from birth, basically, till that child gets to elementary school, on being prepared, and as I indicated in my remarks, really lowering the achievement gap with the goal of eliminating the achievement gap. That's one part of it. But as the speaker indicated, I think part of the goal of what the mayor announced today is also the expansion of the number of full-day pre-K seats. That, to me, is extremely important. By having the increase by 4,000 seats, and since the mayor has been mayor, we've increased the number of seats, both half-day and full-day, up to 58,000, and we have the capacity to go up to 60,000 and even higher. But we want more of those seats to be full-time seats as well, and then targeting those seats to very needy areas where, unfortunately, the enrollment level is not where it should be. That's what will take place over this next year, and identifying those communities, working with those communities, and then having those seats available starting 2013-2014 school year.
Yes, Ms.
What do they do differently in this Educare program than a traditional preschool or pre-K?
Well, keep in mind, this starts much earlier. And this starts from 5 weeks up to 5 years, and the pre-K is, let's say, 5 years old, and then you have kindergarten. So you're dealing with a very different group of kids.
Yeah, let me take a stab, and then I'll turn it over to the expert. I mean, when I went out to Omaha, one of the things that I saw was really an integrated system of learning taking place between not just the baby who was there or 1-year-old, 2-year-old. The parents were definitely involved in that process. So that reinforcement with the family members along the importance of learning, what's involved in cognitive development, was taking place. So that's one key difference. But also, as indicated earlier, that also the types of supports are built in as well. So if there are mental health services needed, they are there on site as well. If there are health services that are needed for that child as well as the family, that's on site as well. So all those comprehensive services are working to make sure that that child is well prepared for school.
That's great. I would only add that teacher quality and teacher support, which is so important in K-12, is every bit as important in birth to 5, and that's a big part of the Educare network as well.
Yes, sir.
Could you just outline the costs of the programs? I know that the Educare is a private, public-private thing. I just want to know what the city's contribution for that will be. And on the 4,000 seats, you said $20 million. Is that total cost for that?
$20 million for the expansion to full day, and that's total cost. On the Educare side, what we'll be devoting from the city is up to $10 million for the capital renovation needs for that particular school. So we'll be working with the Educare experts in designing the space within the building to fit the model. So that includes observation areas and also more group settings as well. One of the things with the Educare in Omaha is a lot of large group rooms where there's a lot of interaction taking place between the teachers, the students, and the family members as well. So we'll be designing it along that line. And the final cost will be determined based on the other particulars we'll be working with Educare.
Can I just add one thing just on the cost? We should note, I think we'll see that money back in a few years, because the more full-day pre-kindergarten we have, when we see the success of this Educare model, we're going to need less intervention for those students later on throughout their educational career. So it is important to put this money out, but I also think we're going to see it back in savings later on as these children make their way through our system.
Ron, you want to add?
With respect to Educare, the key difference, I think, is that when you have children as young as 3 to 6 months and you bring their parent in early, you are modeling, the teachers are modeling for their parent how to interact with them. So it may seem logical that you talk to a 4, 5, 6-month-old child. Not all of our parents know that that is a key part of developing a baby's ability to interact. And so our programs, and Educare in particular, begin that process very early for parents and then make that part of parenting, which is something that our early care and education programs have to consistently do, and then parents bring that home and start doing that routinely. It helps intellectual development, and all of the brain development research on 0 to 2 and 0 to 3-year-olds are increasingly showing that stimulating a child's brain that way will ensure success in school.
Other questions on topic? Yes, sir.
These are not repositioned seats, right? Just to be clear, you've said they're new over and over. I just want to make clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, a number of the half-day seats will convert into full-time seats. I mean, we are making sure we increase the number of full-day seats. And there'll still be half-day seats available, and our goal is even to convert more of those as we move forward.
Chancellor, just to follow up, you said there was university professors in Educare. What is the role of a university in Educare?
One of the most important parts of Educare is ensuring that we're using data effectively to improve teacher practice, but also to demonstrate that children are coming into school ready to learn. So every Educare has a university partner that collects data on how the children are doing, how the teachers are doing, and follows those children through the program.
And also, if I may, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, we have university partners in all of our relationships with schools. I mean, I was at a school just last week where we have a University of Columbia that's partnering with us in schools. We have relationships with the City University and a number of colleges through the City University. And so we're definitely expanding that to Educare will benefit not just the school, but it benefits the community overall to have an active community partner who's a university.
Last on-topic question. Yes, sir.
Can you guys explain the decision to go above and beyond the Educare program, including the leadership?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Can you explain the decision to add on to the Educare program with the Leadership Institute and the need to train?
Well, it's also built on the model of our Leadership Academy as well. I mean, we believe in training leaders and having leaders available to replicate this program throughout the city. So even if the Educare program itself may not be available in other areas, by having people trained, then we're able to replicate the success of what people will learn through Educare and have it taken to their local daycare centers, community-based organizations, or to their schools as well. So to me, that's an exciting venture that has dividends paying out over the years in the long run.
We'll take a 2-minute break, and then on topic, or okay, we'll take a 2-minute break and come on topic. Last.
Can you clarify what you mean by at-risk children that you refer to?
Yeah. Sure. It's just a term we use in Dennis.
Low-income communities, unfortunately, children who may not be getting the proper modeling at home, reinforcing different educational, pedagogical issues within the home that we feel are extremely important. So there are a number of criteria that we use, free and reduced lunch as well. So there are various models that we use to determine what's a high need or student at risk.
Last.
Chancellor. In this program, were there any educational comparison to the Israeli kibbutzim system that takes children very early in the years and starts educating them?
Well, we're starting at age 5 weeks. If the Israelis do it earlier than that, they can't be beating us by more than 5 weeks. We'll be back in 2 minutes.